everybody, welcome back to the Bad Influence Racing channel, and today we are going to be tearing down the bottom end of our 528 cubic inch Hemi. If you saw the previous video, we tore apart the top end. Everybody got to see how that is. We're going to go in depth a little bit, see how everything comes apart on this, what we use for rods. We're going to go over that in here, pistons, rings, everything like that, so you guys can see it coming apart and how kind of everything works there, and then we'll go ahead and keep going. Later on, you guys will be able to see how we do the assembly on one of these, how we put it together, everything there. The heads, the billet heads that we took off last week, are going down to Travis Knowlton at Knowlton's Thunderheads and Racing Engines, KTRE, in East Bethel, Minnesota. They do a lot of Hemi work there, and they know those heads better than we do. They're going to take care of that, and we'll take care of all of the short block stuff here. So we're going to go ahead and get the oil pan and oil pump off of this. First thing you'll see, I don't know if you can see it in the camera down here because I've got the camera on a pod there. This has an external oil pump, so we're going to take the external oil pump off of here and then also take the oil pan off, drop it straight down before we flip it over. So let's go ahead and get the oil pump pickup off and the oil pump. We'll show you all of that, the oil pump drive, everything there. So. We've got the oil pan off. We're going to flip this over, and we're going to show you everything on the rods and everything here. So let's get to that. We do run an aluminum rod in this. We prefer to use an MGP rod, just what we're comfortable with and what we've used a bunch of. In this are R&R rods. It's just when we bought the engine, that's what they used in there. We took a spare rod that we had and sent it off to MGP and had them remake it. So you'll see when we assemble it. This is a Keith Black block. It's upside down right here, so Keith Black right there. It's a billet crank in here, and the aluminum rods. If you see right there, I told you they're an R&R rod. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and pull all these out and take a look at everything. I'm going to show you a couple things on here that most people don't get to see on a Hemi. Now, sometimes when you're buying stuff online, say you're on Turbo Bullet on Facebook, or you're somewhere, you're on Racing Junk, and you see a block for sale and it says, never been windowed, or windowed once, or anything like that. This is what they mean. So, if you see right here, this block has been repaired. See all the weld marks and everything on here? The block has been repaired. You can see it from the inside as well on there. That means this engine has been, hurt at one point. It was blown up. This has been repaired. They've gone through and redone all of the machining on here, everything like that. There is no water in this. They didn't have to worry about it leaking water. It was mainly structural on there. So they did all the structural repairs, and then they remachined the entire block, make sure that everything was true, perfect, and straight. So that's what windowing a block is. This block has been obviously windowed once. Hopefully we never do it again. But it's held up to a lot of power since that repair has been done, so we're good with it. So we're going to go ahead and get these pistons out. Okay, here's our rod and piston. Fresh out the block. Looks like we had a little bit of debris, which we kind of already knew. There's some debris went through this engine, so everything is fine on here because the bearing took everything up, but we definitely want to make sure we stop that from going forward. This is a diamond piston with a hard anodized coating on here, and these are buttons that hold the wrist pin in on here instead of clips. You can see it comes up into the oil ring here, so they want to keep everything there. It's a pretty good piston. Looks really nice on here. We'll clean it up from having everything burnt on there. It's got a nice accumulator groove right here. Yeah, it's really good. Not a whole bunch of walk and movement on there, so this is gonna be a great, we're gonna reuse these pistons, clean them up with new rods. So like I said, we had some debris go through here. Nothing too bad, but you can definitely tell there's stuff through there. So that. We got 4 of them done, and it's all done. Look at that. Power of editing. We have all the rods out. We have everything here. This is our billet crank. What we're going to have to do to take everything out, we have to take out all the side bolts first, and then we'll take off the main bolts. And there's a nice threaded deal here because these sit in there very tight, so we can actually put a deal in there and pop them out. Helps out a whole bunch there. And then on the rear, if you see, there's 2 bolts here and here, and then there's 2 bolts here, and then there's these little half moons. I don't know if you can see right in there, those little half moons. Those are seals, all right? And what those do is it's a press fit seal in there, so that way we don't get oil that leaks out towards the rear of that. So we'll have to take all that out. This is what holds the cap up in there, so you can put it up in with the seals, everything like that, kind of start to suck it up on, and then torque it down, tighten those. The nice thing is, if you can see, it's really tough to see here. There we go. Mains are 120, sides are 80. The seal there is 30. So we have all the torque specs permanently on the block, so we can make sure that no matter who has it, or if, say, we're at a track and I've got some guys helping, I go, hey, don't worry, pull it apart. Torque specs are underneath. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing apart. One other thing I wanted to show you on here that most people don't get to see. You see right down here, there's a hole. See that hole there? Let's flip this way. And there's another one here. They're at the 4 corners. There's another one there. Those are actually the oil drain backs from the head, where it comes through. And remember how I was saying that we were having a oil leak here? Well, that's the drain right here. I could be one of these 2 holes my fingers under here. The drain to come back down to get oil there. A lot of people don't see that or know about it, any type of a deal. Okay, sorry guys, my GoPro, the battery died right as I started taking the caps apart, so I don't have that. I got the caps off here. I'm going to show you the crankshaft and what we got going on, and we're going to cover one more thing on here. So, here we are. Let's go out there. I actually had to switch to my my Samsung Galaxy phone to make everything work. So, so we got the caps off. They're all in order right up here. So, as you can see, everything looks pretty good on there. It looks like there's some streaking on there, but that's just oil on there. So, yeah, they're all doing really good. I can't take the crankshaft out right now because I have to pull the balancer off, and unfortunately, I lent my balancer puller to someone, and I don't have it right now. Weird. So, I can't pull that off. I only like to use my balancer puller on there because it's a lot nicer. It uses a roller bearing and everything like that, so I like to use that. So, I'm happy to have this block and everything. We're going to clean this up. We're going to clean up some of the repairs on it a little bit more. And we're going to just hot tank the living snot out of this thing to make sure that it is nice and clean, because it's had a lot beat out of it. It's old, it's weathered. I wanted to make it look nice again, clean up all this RTV from everything. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you our new turbo. You got to see when we were building the car, the 114. We now have a Gen 2 Precision 118 turbo, and we are getting ready to figure out what exhaust housing and everything we're going to put on there. So let's go over those exhaust housings and show you that ball bearing turbo. There we are. We've got some turbo stuff here. This is the new 118 millimeter Precision turbo. The bearings are really dry right now because they was cleaned and shipped from Texas. But that already spins way better than the 114 did. So, what we have is the turbo and exhaust housings, and here's what we're running into. We try to, let everybody know what's going on. So we're gonna flip this up and over like that. And we're gonna this. So the 118 right here. We have 2 exhaust housings. This is a 1.5 AR exhaust housing, and this is a 2.0. We already ran a 1.5, the exact same deal. There's our gasket. This is a spare that we would use on there, and that fits there. That's a T5/T6 gasket and flange. Now we want to see if we can run the 2.0. And the issue we're having with this is going to move. It's much bigger. So we are trying to figure out now exactly what we want to do because we called up Precision and got put on hold for over an hour. I believe Precision Turbo actually sold to another company, is what I was told. I don't know what company it is. If you know, drop a comment below. I'm very curious as to that, and let us all know. If you happen to know what flange this is all came about within the last, I would say, 4 to 6 hours from when I'm filming this right now. If you happen to know what flange the 2.0 exhaust housing is for a 118 on there, let me know. I'm looking for a flange. You could be the saving grace here. Otherwise, I'm going to machine my own. I'd like to have it as an adapter where that will go to the T6, and then this will bolt to it, because my entire exhaust side and hot side is already set up for that T5, T6. So, but that is the upgrade we're going to be doing on there. The 118 with the 1.5 or with the 2.0. We've talked to people. Some people say run the 1.5. You're going to make plenty of power on there. I've heard other people go put the 2.0 on there, so that way you won't have any issues. You'll be able to spin it up and make all kinds of power. We're just trying to make it so we can change them out, and when we go to the dyno, we're going to try both of them and see exactly what it is. So make sure you like and subscribe, ring the bell so you know exactly when the videos come up. And I appreciate everybody that does everything. Make sure you share us on Facebook if you want to, and everybody be safe out there.